on my newly created Twitch channel. I'm going to go for a new series now, climbing the rating ladder, and then I'll post it onto my YouTube chess channel. Improve your chess now. The idea is that oh, he aborted the game. That I play opponents which don't necessarily have that high of a rating, and then I later analyze the games to see where these opponents make mistakes. Alright, going for the Queen's Gambit, he goes for the Slav. I guess he'll play Knight f3. I'll try Knight c3 this game. This is how Dingliren played against Fabiano Caruana with a pretty good result. K6, I have the option of going Bishop g5. Yeah, let's do it. I think I know some sharp lines here, but I don't know them that well. Okay, Queen a5 is possible. I think you should take on d5 here, at least it's one of the moves you can play. Then Bishop d3 was the move or something, I think so. Or was it Knight d2? Yeah, because I have to be a bit careful. Bishop d3, Knight e4. Yeah, then maybe it was actually the move Knight d2, yeah? Yeah, I think so. So that after Knight e4 I could take... Okay, goes here. Queen c2 makes a lot of sense. Defending the knight on c3 and with the idea of Bishop d3. Seems very rational. Okay, I can definitely take on e4. I think it's a good idea to do so. Let's see, what other options do I really have? As opposed to taking on e4. I don't really have that many other moves. I can sacrifice with Bishop d3, but I don't think I have enough compensation. That's Knight d. Knight d takes e4, or should I take with the other knight? That's also a relevant question. Which knight to take with? So I'll take with this knight here, so that the knight is more defended on c3 than it is on d2. I'll take back here, and if queen takes e4, he has king e8 and he's attacking both the bishop and the knight on c3, so I'll just retreat with bishop h4. This is definitely very slow, but I don't see what my opponent could do about this. Okay, I'll play bishop c4, get another piece into the game. Though it is also very tempting to take on f6 to ruin his structure quite a bit. So maybe I should actually have done that. Yeah, maybe I'll do it. Actually, I'll castle kingside first, because if he castles kingside, then I'll take on f6, but if he castles queenside, I wouldn't be so sure, because then I open up the g-file. I guess I'll take back with pawn. He gives up the bishop pair. Don't really think he should give up the bishop pair for no reason. I guess I'll play rook c1, defending the pawn on c3. f6 is a very slow move. I guess I'll play b3 with the idea of c4, and then maybe c5, we'll see. But probably not. I'll go c4, yeah, this was my plan. And maybe queen d2, so that knight d3 isn't possible. Now next, maybe I want to play d5 myself. I guess I can. Yeah, why not? I wonder about this endgame. I think this endgame should be good for me because I have the bishop pair. Then the question is what to do next. I guess I'll put my rook on this file, which will become potentially open. Okay, now I have improved my structure and I have a passed pawn, so I'm better. Though only marginally better, of course. It's not like I have a huge advantage or anything. I'll play h4, I guess. b4 might be an idea next. Or I could possibly try to play rook here, actually. This looks interesting. With the idea of rook takes a7. And now I thought rook a5 would be a strong move, threatening on c5, and I don't see how he defends without losing a pawn. I think b6 is the best move, but then I at least get to take pawn on a6. Okay, now I take on c5, we check. I guess I'll throw in rook c7 check, king e8, and only then take on h4. I guess I'll play rook c8. Why not? I don't see the problem with this move. Yeah, I'll take the pawn on f6, and now I am up 2 pawns for no compensation. It's opposite colored bishops, but 2 pawns is still enough to win. Maybe I'll try to activate my king a little. I have the move f3, which doesn't look too stupid, trying to create a few more passed pawns. But I have to be careful so he doesn't get bishop c2 resources at some point. Let's see what to do next. I can take on e4 with the idea that if the bishop takes on e4, I have bishop f6 suddenly. Yeah, rook d8 is not a very good move when my opponent resigns. Let's have a quick look at this game to see where my opponent went wrong. Yeah, the Dinglier and Fabiano game went like this, and then a4. 5. And at some point, Dinglier went for the interesting king f2. Right, back to the game, bishop g5. After pawn takes c4, there are some very sharp lines here, which I have looked at very slightly, which is why I wanted to try and play it. He played knight d7, but I think here white should be better. This is of course an opening variation, but I don't really believe in it, because the bishop on c8 is very difficult to develop. After the bishop will go to d3, the bishop won't really have the option of going to f5, and it's also difficult to go to g4 as well. Knight d2, yeah. I think this is how you're supposed to. If I'm careless and play bishop d3, then knight d4, and it's not so clear. Because I guess castles is best, but then I give up the bishop pair, which I don't want to for no reason at all. So I went knight d2 to protect against knight e4. Bishop b4, I defended the knight with queen c2. Took, can't really take on e4 with the queen. Bishop c4, yeah, logical. And here it's clear that I'm better. But I don't know if I should have gone for descending. I know I am better. What? Whoa, the computer. It finds the idea of h5, that is a bit smart. Because after h5, the threat is obviously to play g5 followed by h4. So I have to defend with h3. But here after h4, it's black has been able to get quite a bit of space on the queen side. I think I would really like to meet h5 with h4 as I did in the game, instead of h3. Okay, but here I already win a pawn. And he should definitely go up, not b6. Yeah, I thought this would be best, giving up the pawn on a6, as opposed to the pawn on c5, because I thought the pawn on c5 would be more important. And here it's, yeah, quite over. I'm just up a couple of pawns. And here my opponent blundered. He should obviously take bishop c2, but after b4, bishop d3, g1 check. I think I can later go to c1, keep all the pawns defended, and white is easily winning. Let's play the next game. Alright, we've got a new opponent. Let's see who it is this time. This time it's extra effort. I'll go for e5, I guess. Knight c6, yep. I'm not really into the Petrov with knight f6. You just get a position which is very dry, But white has a few 10 pieces more than black, so it's really only white that could have an advantage. Okay, bishop c5 is the move. Knight f6. Let's see which variation you will choose. This is possible to play, of course. Bishop b4. Yeah, take here. I think the theory is to take on a b4 and then an f7 or something. Then go into some kind of ending. I can maybe show the variation after the game if it's not the variation we get. Okay, here I have d5 castles. Isn't the best move because now white has to fight for equality because white is a pawn down. And I don't really believe that white has too great compensation. It's possible to play, but it's I think inaccurate. I could later show the variation which goes to a roughly equal ending, but it's definitely okay for black. No problem at all here. Yeah, my opponent takes a long think. Funnily enough, I had a look at this line just today. So I remember a couple of moves, because I don't usually play e5 after e4, but I want to start playing it. I had a look at the move queen a4 here and the knight c6. And the exact variation I looked at is simply knight e5, pawn takes c6. Okay, this is definitely not the best. I have the move c6. Yeah, I don't see any problem with move c6. Bishop d7 was also maybe playable. I guess my idea after bishop e2 is to play a5, so that my opponent can't weaken my structure with a3. Knight a6, bishop takes a6. This is slow, but I don't see how my opponent could punish me. As far as I see it, he's just a pawn down for no compensation whatsoever. Can I develop here? Yeah, I don't see any problems. A knight bd2, rook e8, I guess. And then I'm just up a healthy pawn. Maybe I have queen b6 ideas, putting pressure on some of his pawns. I could trade down quite a few of pawns by taking on c3. I don't know exactly how good it is. Guess I'll just keep it simple and play rook e8. Though maybe I can't call it simple because my opponent might have had queen c2. Then it becomes kind of sharp. It tempts me the most to take with a pawn. Okay, a pawn is hanging on d4. See no reason not to take it. You can take a pawn back on e4, but then I am just up a pawn. I have the move e3 here. Pawn takes e3, rook takes e3. e3, bishop takes, queen takes f5, pawn takes d2. I don't see the problem with this move. Yeah, this was my idea. Now I think my opponent is in serious trouble. I think perhaps he's just dead lost because this is mate. Alright, let's have a quick look at the game, guys. So the variation I'm talking about is bishop takes b4, knight takes b4. And here bishop takes I have to go to the analysis board. Bishop takes f7, king takes f7, queen d3. And here I prefer king e8. Sorry, king e8. b4, queen e7. This has been extensively analyzed by Victor Balagan, and he says that black is completely fine in this endgame. Black has a better pawn structure, a potentially good bishop, but white has a tiny lead in development, so black has to be slightly careful. Alright, let's play another game, guys. Which move to play? I guess I'll go for the English. Ah, no, my opponent just aborts, yeah? That's interesting. Playing Ukibaba. I like that name. It's a fancy name, Ukibaba. Let's see which move he'll make. Yeah, he's thinking for a long time. I wonder if this game will also be aborted as well. Yeah, it got aborted too. Perhaps they fear to play me, I don't know. I wanted to go for the English last time, so I guess that's what I'll do. Okay, finally an opponent to place. I guess I'll go for G3, go for the real English stuff. Bishop G2, I guess. Knight F3. Let's see if he goes D4 or takes on C4, simply ignores it with Bishop E7 or something. Yeah, castles. I wonder if B3 is possible, or if then D4 is strong. I guess I'll go D4 myself. Maybe Knight D2, followed by B3, Bishop B2. This is very similar to another game I had, and I think the exact same structure. Guess I'll go Queen C2 here as well. I think it's the exact position I had actually in another game. That is interesting. My previous opponent did not play Rook E, or did he? He might have. But it's a very slow move, Rook E8. I don't really like it too much. I guess I'll play Rook A1, put the Rook on the same file as my opponent's Queen. I have ideas of C5, which I think is quite interesting. I'll go for C5 actually, blocking his bishop on B7, making it a pretty bad bishop, but giving away the D5 square. So it should be a good decision, but it comes at a cost of giving up the D5 square, which my opponent takes right away. It would be nice to trade off dark squared bishop so I get the D6 square, but I don't really see a way to do that yet. I don't know if pushing the H-pawn will improve my position, probably not. Okay, Knight C4 is tempting, threatening Knight D6. And also F6 is a very weakening move, I don't like this move at all. Now I think White has some advantage, because it's not easy to defend against Knight D6. My opponent has to be very creative to find a defense. Yeah, I wonder if there is any defense against the move Knight D6, trying to win some material. Okay, can threaten my queen with Knight B4, I guess I move away Queen B1 and I don't see the point. So I wonder. Yeah, I guess I'll go Knight D6, if F5. Ah yeah, this was the defense, yeah, and he has Rook E7. I didn't think of that actually, but it's clear that I'm better because I have the bishop here and stuff. Taking on B6 seems to win a pawn. If he throws in Knight B4, I can throw in Knight takes B7. Though maybe I don't even have to. Yep. A bit greedy, but you know, gotta be greedy sometimes. Gotta take those pawns while you can. Yes. Queen B5, I guess. If Bishop C3, I can take on B6, so we can't play this move. Rook F1 is a tempting move, getting my final piece into the game. Okay, Bishop A3 is a bit tempting, but then he gets Knight C3 and stuff, so gotta be careful. Though I have Queen D3, yeah, I think it's good. Knight C3, Queen D3, yeah, seems good for me. I also can take on E7 and then play Queen D3, perhaps that is even better. Maybe my opponent will play something like Rook D7 now, that move wouldn't surprise me. Then maybe Bishop E4 or something. Rook c7, okay, this move also is kind of logical. I can probably take another pawn. Yeah, let's be greedy. That pawn on b6 will be hanging now. Let's take it. Let's take that pawn. Pawn on a2 might be hanging at some point as well, yeah, so I have to be slightly careful. Yep, I'll take on b6. If rook c6, queen b4, probably. I just have to be careful that after queen f3, but after queen f3 I can take on f8, yeah? That's very good for me. Queen d6 is possible, queen takes d6, bishop takes d6, rook 7 c6. He gets a pawn back. I don't know, I could still do it. It's not a bad option. It's not a bad option, nevertheless. Because after queen b4 he does win a pawn on a2. Then queen e7. Queen d6 is also a logical move, of course. Which move to play? I guess I'll go for queen d6. Yeah, hard decision to make. I don't know if I made the right one. He'll play rook 7 c6 next. I thought I would play d5 then. Sorry, queen takes d6, bishop takes d6. Whoa, he goes here. This I don't think is good. Yeah, this is just losing in fact. It's forced mate after king h8, queen e8, and then he has to go knight f8 and it's mate. Yeah, that's how that game will end, quite unfortunately for my poor opponent. Poor guy. Poor guy. Let's have a quick look at the game. Yeah, this is of course a very big line, a theoretical line of the Catalan. I don't play this as white nor as black, to be honest. This is also a possible setup against the Catalan. Queen c2 is inaccurate due to c5, yeah? So what is the better move? I was thinking of knight e5. e3 looks very slow. Knight e5, okay. So he takes knight d7. What do I play next? a4 with the idea of a4. It's very it gives up a lot of squares though with bishop d4. I don't really like the move a4. Okay, this position is very strategically complex, to be honest. Okay, I went for the simple-minded queen c2, then d4. And here, yeah, white is somewhat better. The bishop on b7 I think is terrible. Yeah, it transposes, doesn't matter which knight I go with. Here I decided to be greedy, but maybe the computer says I could just play it slowly and say that my knight on d6 is so good that it's better than taking a pawn. But taking a pawn can't be wrong. Okay, I took another one. So greedy. I'm a greedy guy. Greedy guy. Then my opponent's undermate, but oh, he has rook a7 as well. Maybe I was only thinking about this. Yeah, I wasn't sure if I was going to go bishop c5 or not. What exactly happens here? b4. Yeah, okay, I have good winning chances here. I don't think he's able to collect the pawns. Let's play another game, guys. With the same time, control 3 plus 2. Right, playing El Blitzo 2. I'll go d5, I guess. Knight f6. Goes for the London. Boring guy. Boring guy. C5, I guess. I could maybe have tried queen b6 right away. I think that's variation. Okay, but this endgame is very pleasant to play if he takes in b6. If he doesn't, then bishop f5 gives an advantage to black. He can't take back the bishop because then I take on b2 and then take his rook, so he has to play queen c1. And here the most accurate move is knight h5 because it wins his dark squared bishop. He's trying to do the same, but it's a very slow move. I don't really believe in it. Let's see how I could prove my disbelief. If it's rational or not. The move knight h4 I haven't seen, to be honest, but I haven't looked at this in that great detail after the move knight h5. I can take on b1 takes on f4. I don't think it's that great. I'll just keep it simple and play bishop d7. I wonder after bishop e5 what I'll do. Okay, here I guess I'll go g6. His knight is strangely placed on h4 though, to be honest. Yeah, I'll take on g3 and then play bishop g7. I can strike in the center with the move e5. Yeah, sure, let's try to open up the position a little bit. I don't see the problem with this move. Doesn't really matter if I take back with the knight or the bishop, so I think it's good not to waste too much time on these small decisions. I have the move bishop g4. That seems kind of interesting to me. Yeah, I don't really like his move of e4. Trying to see how I could prove my intuition. I can definitely castle queenside and have a satisfactory position, but I guess I'll just go bishop g4. This is my instinct. He obviously can't take on g4. But I thought if he takes on d5, I take on e2. This I thought would be weakening. I already have the move queen e3 if I want to. Yeah, f3 is definitely not a good move, but I also thought I have bishop e6 here if needed. Let's see, queen e3, knight takes c4, knight takes c4. Yeah, that's good for me, so I don't see what he'll do after queen e3. It seems as if I have some kind of initiative going. Here my idea was knight d3, of course. And then I'm able to pick up his queen. I guess we'll keep it simple and just castle queenside to get another rook into the game. Rook takes d5 and his knight is pinned. And he blunders mate in one. This was not an impressive game by my opponent, to put it mildly. Let's have a quick look at the game. I can analyze without an engine first and then see what the engine says. Yeah, here I think queen b6 is also a possible variation, but then knight c3 gets really sharp. I haven't really studied this. This stuff, yeah, sharp stuff. Knight c6. Yeah, queen c2 is also possible. c4. Here it's probably best objectively to take, but this endgame is pretty bad because black has the idea of b5, b4. And then white will have a weakened pawn structure. Okay, queen c2 is also possible, but then I have bishop f5, getting some tempies to develop my pieces. As we see, I've played c4, so I no longer have pressure on white's center, but I get very good development as compensation. And white, it's very difficult for white to break with b3 and e4 due to black's development. Also here I play knight h5 and get the bishop pair as well. So I got here, knight d2, e5 trying to break the center apart, and I don't think he should take here. He should maybe play b3, maybe. Though there must be something good here for sure. I don't think taking on d4 is possible, but it's very common that you sacrifice this pawn on c4 and that it somehow works out. Okay, I don't know how it is exactly here, but it somehow, yeah, I know that even after b3 it's clear that Black is better. Took e4. This I don't like because it gives away the dark square. So now I have ideas of bishop h6 at some point. I want bishop g4 with the idea of removing the bishop, so I get the d3 square. And here I think you played a very ugly move at 3. Maybe you should probably not make. I was thinking about taking here, takes. Then I thought there must be something here. Queen takes b2 maybe. The computer finds a subtlety, queen c5, yeah? The idea of queen takes d5 and queen e7 in some variations. That's kind of smart. But there must definitely be something here. My opponent went for f3 in the game. But now I have queen e3 and I have a serious initiative. I was thinking about a bit about this move, but then I can take here. This is very good for me. Probably completely winning. But he blundered with pawn takes g4 and I got his queen. And then I don't know why he let me checkmate him in one move. But he did, nevertheless. Alright, let's play a final game, I guess. We're playing Muhammad 1945. I guess we'll go for knight f3 this game. Whoa, he blitzes out e6, wow. See how the fear went, yeah? Let's play g3. Queen f6! Bishop c5! What is this guy doing? This is the craziest chess style I've ever seen, and I think bishop g5 wins the game. Or knight h4. I'll go knight h4 so that he doesn't have h4 ideas as he would after knight e5. And finally he takes a think here when he realizes he is losing. How is it material wise? I'm up a queen for a minor piece, whoa. Play e3 with the idea of taking this pawn and also queen f3, but bishop g4 is probably the best move. Then f3, but okay, I'm just up so much material. Oh, come on. How can he do this? How can he blitz out such moves? I'll analyze this game as well, but this was not a very interesting game. Take on h5, threatening the bishop and the pawn on f7 as well, which will be checkmate actually. Queen takes f7. Whoa. Let's see if he chooses to defend the bishop or to defend against the mate threat. Yeah, queen h7, that nice detail, the nice cherry on the cake. Not taking the bishop in h3 even though it easily wins. Okay, I can checkmate him like this. He wants a rematch. I don't really want a rematch against him. But let's have a quick look at the game. Here, yeah, I'm never sure if it's acceptable for black to give away the bishop pair like this. Also ruining white structure a little. But no one ever does this, so... But maybe I should check out if it's actually good, because suddenly in a very important game, someone actually does, and I'm losing. A queen f6, you shouldn't get your queen out in the beginning of the game. It's not a very good idea. The bishop isn't well placed on c5, because I always get d4 ideas in the air. Okay, h5, it's a very typical now to play h5, h4 stuff, but it's very slow here. Now I get d4 with tempi, the problem with bishop c5, and then I'm already winning after bishop g5, because it turns out after removes his queen, maybe queen f5 is better, even though it still loses, of course, the taking here, and that I can take through, but up a lot of material. Nevertheless, it's completely losing, but slightly less losing than queen g6, after which I also pick up a rook here. So a quick look at what the computer says. Yeah, the opening is maybe the interesting part. Okay, doesn't like, but okay, g3 is a decent move. What does the computer say about this? Let's say c5 maybe. Then I'm in time to play d4, the computer says. Okay, nice. Even here I am in time. Let's say bishop e4, bishop g2 maybe is a decent. Yeah, okay, I guess black doesn't have a good reason to give up the bishop pair. Alright everyone, I hope you enjoyed the first video of this series of trying to get a high rating. See you in the next